Welcome, masses. Welcome back to One Name Sports. And it is with heavy heart that we have to say rest in paradise to the great Mercurial Diego Maradona, the Messi before the Messi. Um, one of our legends, the legends that my legends look up to. A lot of complications he had with his health. And hopefully he'll be able to rest easy. He has a legacy that, you know, 90% of the world will envy. So thank you again for your contribution to football, and hope you're glad in the hands that you've left the game in. But today, as you know, as customary, today is our Champions League day, and we're going to review the day's games. The games for the entire round, to be a little more accurate. I'll let you know my thoughts on the performances. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off, the first two games were Sevilla versus Krasnodar. Kind of a strange game on that one. We expected Sevilla to win. They did win, but Krasnodar gave them a much better fight than was expected. Rakitic again showing real class there in the Sevilla midfield. They'll continue to steamroll along. Chelsea looking like not looking like, they are probably one of the deepest teams in Europe at the moment. And you have Giroud, who is, maybe had 20 minutes of game time for them on the season, coming up with a winning goal for them. Rennes were good for their money today. They did show up. I know I've been kind of harsh on them in the past. Kamavinga was, moving the ball around. They looked like they were going to get a point, but in the end, Chelsea's depth came through and a little bit of luck as well, and they got 3 points. And Rennes again is just looking like Europa League is where they're gonna go. All right, so for the following games, we had Lazio taking on Zenit. Ciro Immobile is making it his point to prove me wrong and make my video look stupid. I did say he looked a little strange to start the season. He was in a flux of a form, but he's smacking goals in the Champions League, and he ain't stopping. So he put two past Zenit and, made them look a little childish. He is actually doing the same thing that another man who is absolutely on fire, breaking records is, and that's Erling Haaland with Dortmund. Dortmund again, 3-0 winners. They look, like they stood up and shaking off any early season rust. Haaland again been on fire. Player that was linked with Man U put in two with another player that was supposed to be at Man U, who is Sancho. Who knew he takes free kicks now? You know what I mean? That was. Did you see the bend on that? Just over there, sir. But he looks really good. Looks like the coach Favre is kind of loosening up the jail cell that he putting them in a little bit. So they're getting jiggy out there, and good result for Dortmund. They look right in place to move right along in the competition. The next game was Paris Saint-Germain versus Leipzig again. Boy, they're lucky. Oh my God. The results that, the performances that I've been talking about, this entire season, they come to fruition again. Neymar looks, Mbappe looks passive, and them boy, they're lucky. That was not a penalty, but as a Man U fan, I can't really talk too much. But yeah, a little 1-0. It was a good game, though, good competition. You could see the tactics moving, but RB looking like they might be in the Europa League this year. The next close game was Juve versus Fenerbahce. Ronaldo, listen, the Penaldo jokes is funny, just like another, Bruno with his penalties again. But listen, the man just knows how to score. Like, there was no reason for Ronaldo to pick the ball up 24, 25 yards away from the goal, smack it with his left foot like that. Like, it bounced right in front of the keeper, the pace on it. You either you have the touch or you don't have it. And clearly the man have the touch. So all them jokes, about, there's only certain way you score or whatever. Which way you want it? Right foot, left foot, in the ear, in the box, 25 yards out. He can put the ball in the net. And I don't know what Ronaldo have that he is feeding to Morata. But the man is a goal machine, man. Him and Calvert-Lewin, they're on the same regimen. Like, they look like they're about to hit 30 goals this year, and I don't know where it came from. The next game was Barca versus Dynamo Kyiv, and maybe it's just me. Clearly, I have a little bias, but maybe it's just me. But Barcelona looked like a completely more just confident team with Messi not on the field. When's the last time they scored 4 goals? Don't answer that. I don't know either. But you have Braithwaite, which, again, you shouldn't be at Barca and shouldn't be wearing number 9, but you got 2 goals. You had more room for Coutinho, more room for Griezmann. Griezmann scored. Dest put a goal in there, first player from USA. And Barca just looked like, oh, we can pass the ball around. You don't have that lightning pole that's attracting everything to him or begging for the ball. They just look like a better team. So, I don't think they're gonna miss that man too much when he leaves. Cause I think it's a matter of time now, and he'll move on. But the team they just look ready for him to leave. Like, the space that everyone's gonna get is just gonna be different. And then lastly, big side, Man U get revenge from them boy from Istanbul and took care of business. Again, boy, Bruno, I don't know. Sometimes you just get the luck of the ball. Like, it's something I see Messi do for years. I'm like, how did he end up there to get the ball to put it in the net? I don't understand it. But Bruno, top shutter from 20, smacked it in the top of the net. And then lucky with the butterfingers on the keeper. Not a nice little tap in right there. Wish Cavani could have got it, but it don't work. So, and then, out of humility, you just said, Rashford, take the penalty that you won. And then, second half we came out really passive, didn't like the display. But, boy, they were hungry. The young boys came on, Mason and Daniel James, and we got that last little tuck away to make the result more reflective of the performance. So, nice result for us. Van der Beek, oh my God. He looked like he'd been playing with us for years. And he is what I'll call he's very similar to David Silva, where he's a pre-assister. He gives the pass that turns into the assist. It's something that Pogba hasn't been doing. Pogba, you don't have to be the guy. You have to be the guy that helps the guy. And that is exactly what Van der Beek looked like. When he passes the ball, it's moving forward to the people that need to get it. The ball's going to Bruno. It's going out wide. It's just 1, 2, boop, 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 boop. And you saw it multiple times. His work rate off the ball is phenomenal. He's playing a little bit deeper, but he's willing to just give the ball to Bruno and stay out of his way, which is not what Pogba wants to do. Pogba wants to catch it and he wants to turn this way and flashy that way. Nah, boss. It ain't for you. Give the ball up. Bruno was able to find that space. He was almost playing as a second striker, and that's where both of his goals came from. Just excellent display. I don't think defensively, though, I would want him and Fred, Van der Beek and Fred, in our midfield when it comes to bigger games. But a game like this just showed like he needs to be in there. I would love to see how he would work in a 4-4-2. I think we tried it already, but putting McTominay and Fred behind him, then Van der Beek, and putting Bruno at the top behind whatever combination of two, Rashford and Martial, or Rashford and Cavani, and just see how that works, especially with Tellez playing as high and delivering in those crosses. And if Wan-Bissaka can learn how to cross, that's a very similar kind of effect we can get to the heavy metal football that Klopp plays. But great result. Hopefully we take that confidence into the weekend and pick up a W there. So on to the Wednesday games. All right, starting off day 2, we have Gladbach versus Shakhtar Donetsk. And if anybody tells me that they were expecting Gladbach to be as strong as they are, to be smacking teams and giving such a fight in this group, you find me that person and let me know what the lotto picks are for next year, because honestly, they're the most surprising team in the competition this year. Make Shakhtar look like fools, honestly. They just scraped them up. Just a really strong team, and they look good money to make it through to the next round. We had Man City taking on Olympiacos. Pep looking kind of fraudish in the light, I ain't gonna lie. Everybody's healthy. They're just not playing well. I don't know what he has to do, but the only person right now in their team that seems to be benefiting from the setup this year is Phil Foden. Everybody else just looks off the pace and can't finish. I thought Kun was gonna smack some in honor of his ex-stepfather-in-law or his kid's grandpa, whatever you want to call it. But I guess we have to see on the weekend. It might have been a little too soon, but he has to start. So if anybody wants to take the risk in fantasy, you make that move as well. On from there, we had Atletico struggling with Lokomotiv. I'd hate to be a fan of Atletico. Like, you don't know what version of the team you're gonna get. The smooth, controlling, dynamic team, or the slow, the lethargic. You don't know. The Monday switchy from game to game. But 0-0 there. They looked a little toothless. On the flip side, you had Bayern. Even though they went down to 10 men, they still good money for their win. Defense and Neuer did bail them out a little bit, but they got their goals early, and after that they can just defend and wait from there. We had Porto taking on Marseille. Marseille just straight up looks like a team that should not be in Europe. Not Champions League, just in Europe in general. Have they scored? I don't think they've scored yet. Porto, did what they were supposed to do. Beat up on a weak team that just looks old and just out of place in every level. I can't tell you one player in Porto and Marseille's team that looks like they are Champions League worthy. Dimitri Payet, loved Payet at West Ham. Beyond that, no, I'm sorry. He gave me some moments, but even him, he can't inspire this team to anything. Like, just get him out of there. They're a waste of time. Every other team I see effort, but I don't think it's there for Marseille. Their highlights are boring. Let me put it like that. Ajax beat up on Midtjylland, kind of an expected result there as well. Midtjylland did give a little bit of a fight. They did look decent at times, but Ajax is a little bit too strong for a team like that. Atalanta came back for revenge, made me look a little smart when I called them the strongest team in their group. They beat up a sure-handed Liverpool, and I feel like Liverpool has that now as their excuse. Can say, "Oh no, we were injured," but they wasn't saying injury when you beat up on Leicester. So, shout out to Atalanta. They needed to win that in order to give themselves a chance to move through to the next round, but they look good money for it. And then lastly, we had the must-win game and the biggest game of the round, which was Real Madrid versus Inter Milan. Inter, they literally had to win this game. Like, they're almost mathematically out at this point if they didn't win, and they didn't. The player that Antonio Conte, Mr. Angry Conte, begged for, the person that he said he wanted more than Christian Eriksen, got a red card. And we have a saying, a good feel. That's the man you wanted. You have to live with that. You fought tooth and nail to bring him into the team, and everybody knows Vidal has a temper. How you get 2 yellow cards in the space of 15 seconds and then look like you're dumbfounded? I don't know. I was literally watching the game, and I was like, okay, so you didn't get the penalty. All the teammates were around the referee. The referee was clearly getting annoyed. He said, it's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be a throw-in. Vidal comes out of nowhere. I don't know. He must have told him, like, go tear out your zimmer. Like, he bite up the man, hold your yellow card. After that, you should be like, whoa, this is, in my head, this is an important game. He on some BS, but I'm going to take my yellow card and step back. What he do? Stick his chest out like he's like, I'm about to punch you in your... And I'm like, oh, man. Ref said, goodbye. Boom, boom, 15 seconds, you gave away the game for your team. Any chance they had is gone. And you know whose job it might be at the end of the day? Your coach's, because he wanted you. You're the player that he said was the missing link to how he wants his midfield to work. And you got a red card in probably the most important game of their season. So hopefully now they'll be able to concentrate a little bit more on the Serie A, make that a little bit more interesting. Because I don't want Juve to run away with it again, but they do seem stronger and a little bit more confident than they were last year. So who's to say if Inter can even catch up, you know? But Real Madrid, not a great performance. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Mariano, I understand injuries, and trust me, I prefer him to Jovic, but today he just looked like, you know, a reserve baller. Like he wasn't doing anything against Skriniar in that back line. Hazard, anyone could have took that penalty, and honestly, if Sergio Ramos was there, it would have been him. But I'm happy to see him score. He's still, I don't know if it's the pace of the league, or I thought it was slower in Spain compared to England, but might be the opposite. I don't know. He's just not as dynamic as he was while he was in the Prem, making the Prem look bad. Ugh. But then, Rodrigo turning out to be the more talented of the two young Brazilians. Vinicius is speed and raw, and Rodrigo just seems like how Asensio seemed when Ronaldo was there. Like he comes on and you're just like, whoa, this young kid looks like he's a world beater. That's how Rodrigo seemed. Vinicius is going to run. He's a tireless worker, but yeah, Rodrigo might be the far and away future of the team once Hazard gets shipped off to Italy or something. But, you know, good results for both my teams. And what team has surprised you so far and where they're at in their relative table? Inter is a big surprise for me, and so is Mönchengladbach. But let me know in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe, and share. And once again, rest in peace to the legend Diego Maradona. You know, we'll probably not see a talent and a cultural figure like his again. The things that he did, it's a different time as well for what he did in Argentina, and then on the European stage. You know, it might be a while since we see something like that again. You know, Neymar came close, but you know, the career was completely different. But you know, again, let me know your thoughts below and drop your RIPs. And this has been One Name Sports.